What's up, guys? Hopefully that you had a chance to check this out and tune. Hopefully you're able to watch it with us live. If not, you'll be able to see it on YouTube for a long time to come. I want to make a couple quick announcements and let you guys know what's going on. First of all, we're going to be doing the next couple messages. We're going to be doing live. It helps me. Hopefully it helps you. I think it's just an easy way for us to tune in and kind of worship together, experience it together. But it also helps me from not doing 85 takes. I'd rather be more authentic, and so that's what we're doing this morning. In any case, I want to make sure you know about one thing that's coming up at Element. This Thursday night, we have a town hall. It's going to be a Zoom virtual town hall. We want you to be a part of it. We're going to drop it in the comments, or not in the comments, but in the description of this video. We'll make sure that the link is in there. If you are a part of Element, if you've been tuning into videos, if you have been a part of our church over the past 5 years, we want you to know what's coming up. We got some cool things going on, some big things going on, some big changes coming up as we respond to COVID and as we kind of move forward as a community of people following Jesus. And so we want you to be a part of that discussion. We'd love for you to tune in this Thursday night at 7:30. Mark your calendars for that. And then secondly, mark your calendars for September 6th. We got some cool things planned. We're trying to figure out how we can do an outdoor morning where we can get together and just celebrate some cool things that God's been doing. And so I want you to be there for both of those. But this morning, I want to start really what is going to be 3 parts of a message. And each week is going to be about 8 to 10 minutes. They're going to be shorter, but it's going to be on adapting to change. We live in a world that is constantly changing. And then COVID speeds everything up. It puts all kinds of pressure on us. It makes us start to process things in a way differently than maybe we ever had. We were able before to compartmentalize things like work and home and kids and spouse and finances. And now it's just all jumbled together. And if you're like me, maybe you've had these moments where you've been sitting in your office, listening to your kids cry, listening to your spouse get frustrated, listening to things go on, seeing something that needs to be done around the house, feeling like you should be addressing 800 things at once. And what we find ourselves doing is like being everywhere and being nowhere at the same time, or feeling all the weight of everything but getting nothing done. And I just want to talk about some really practical things that have helped me. And one of the ways that I've learned, and one of the passages that I focus on over the years, has been this one in Philippians 4. So Paul's writing a letter to the church at Philippi, and he spent like the first 3 chapters addressing some tensions that they have and some different things that are going on. He pleads with them at the beginning of chapter 4 that they would kind of work out their disputes among one another. And then he says this. This is the passage we're going to hit over the next couple of weeks. He says, "Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I'll say it, take joy. Let your gentleness be evident to all. The Lord is near. Don't be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." And then he says this, "Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, and whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent, if anything is praiseworthy, then think about these things." The NLT says, fix your thoughts on these things. And he says, whatever you've learned or received or heard from me or seen in me, you just put those things into practice, and the God of peace will be with you. I want to switch translations real quick because I want to share this one with you. The last part of that, he says, "Now, dear brothers and sisters, one final thing. Fix your thoughts on what is true and honorable and right and pure and lovely and admirable. Think about things that are excellent and worthy of praise. Keep putting into practice all that you learned and received from me, everything you heard and saw me doing, and then the God of peace will be with you." Here's what I want you to think about. Where are you focusing your thoughts? There is a lot, and there's a lot going on, and there's a lot of places that we can be distracted. But I want you to think for a minute. Imagine that you're there in that Philippian church. You're sitting there. The letter is being read that comes from the Apostle Paul, who started the church, that you look up to, that you feel like, man, I need some direction. I got a lot of things going on. Life is chaotic. Relationships have tension. Things feel like they're falling apart. My world feels like it's falling apart. I need to figure out what to do. And he says this, listen, one thing that you need to learn above everything else is to fix your thoughts on the things that are good, the things that are lovely, the things that are pure, the things that are true, the things that are honorable. If there's anything excellent and anything worthy of praise, then I want you just to focus your thoughts on that. What would that look like for you? What would it look like when you're in your office trying to work, listening to a kid scream, listening to a spouse struggle through parenting, listening to the different things that you hear? What would it look like to fix your thoughts on something, to focus your energy, to be where you are, but to see it in a positive way? And this isn't just about thinking positively. I want you just to think about what you think about. And I think sometimes we don't do an inventory of that. I get to talk with a lot of people and have a lot of conversations, but there's some people who just continue to think about negativity. And you know what happens? It kind of becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy where they constantly think negatively and they experience negative results. But I think if we'll take some time and take an inventory of what we think about and begin to shift our focus to what Paul suggests to us, what Paul calls us to, I think we'll begin to agree. So I love shooting my bow. I really am looking forward to bow hunting this year. Kim's been out shooting with me, and here's the difference in experience. First of all, Kim did fine, right? That should always be the hashtag. But here's the difference in experience. I've lost. We both bought a dozen arrows as we were kind of getting stuffed out in this year. I just had to buy another box. Kim has lost 0 arrows. And there's a big difference. One, she's a better shot. I'll go ahead and admit that. Everybody should know that. Kim is better at stuff than me. But secondly, Kim has stayed on shorter targets. She's focused in the short term and in the short distances to say, look, I need to get dialed in at 20 yards. And when I can get dialed in at 20 yards, I'll move up to 30. And so we just created the 30-yard pin for her. And now she's shooting at 30 yards. You know what she hasn't done? Shot at 40, 50, or 60. She's got pins that could take it out to that range, and she may be able to do it. She may struggle through it. But she says, look, I need to focus. She's got pins that could take it out to that range, and she may be able to do it. She may struggle through it. But she says, look, I need to focus on what is right now. I need to focus on what is ahead of me, and I need to get good at this. So I got to focus on 20 yards. This is right what's in front of me. Let me hit this target. And when I get good at this target, let me go to the next one. And I think the big takeaway for me for that is, what if we think in the short term? COVID has been happening for a few months now, but I think some of us are still waiting for it to go away and trying to think in years and months to come. What if we thought, what's the best thing for me to do today? What's the best thing for me to do this hour? What's the best thing for me to do this week? I think we've got to shift our focus and think shorter and begin to hit a target that's much closer. The second thing is, I rush ahead. So I'm impatient. I got this new bow this year. I was pumped. It shoots long distance. I mean, not like long distance, but like I could shoot it 100 yards without any problem. I've lost a lot of arrows shooting a lot further than I should ever be shooting because I'm not dialed in at 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 or 70 or 80 or 90. But I go, let me launch one at 100 and see what happens. And what happens is it hits the side of a tree, and then I break an arrow and I'm frustrated. And so I think part of this is not only focusing on what's in the short term, but remembering to have patience for what's in the long term. If we can take care of the things today, we will eventually get to the things we need to take care of tomorrow. And then the last thing is simple. And this comes out of archery, but it really goes along that thing of fixing your thoughts. And that's this question: what is your target? Like, where are you aiming? I love military stuff. I love hunting and shooting and stuff like that. But one of the common phrases in sniper school that I've taken into hunting is aim small, miss small. Meaning you aim at a minuscule sized target. Because if you miss this, like a millimeter sized target, you're not going to be a big deal. But if you aim at a target that's like 6 inches wide or 10 inches wide or whatever it might be, and you miss that, you've missed drastically. That's not what happens. Aim small so you can miss small. And so I want to encourage you, as you think about what the future looks like for you with COVID and with different things going on, what does it look like to aim small? What does your target that is directly in front of you need to look like? See, we go and shoot at these 20-yard targets, but all over that target, it's a big, big target. There's little targets all over the place. And then there's little animals that are like painted on there. And Kim and I play a game where we literally go shoot bear, fox, deer, turkey. And then we shoot 4 arrows and we try and hit those 4 things. And we may miss them by an inch or two, and it doesn't count as a good point. It doesn't count as a good shoot. But what it does is it helps us dial in to this theory of aiming small and missing small. But when I talk to people, it used to be, but this is what we're going to do. What would it look like for you to begin aiming small, creating small targets for yourself to win throughout the day? I think it would be doing what Paul tells us to do. I think it would begin to shift our perspective and to shift our mind and begin to allow us to fix our thoughts on what is true and honorable and right and pure and lovely and admirable. I think it would allow you to think about things that are excellent and worthy of praise. It would begin to shift us from negativity and frustration and what we haven't accomplished to what we are able to do, what we are able to influence, and what is good in our world. And Paul says, keep putting these things into practice, and the God of peace will be with you. Guys, in a time of turmoil, we all are seeking peace. But I want to encourage you that the best way to seek peace is not to overthink about everything out there, but to begin to areas where you can influence, small targets where you can aim and just begin to hit them. Guys, I hope you have a great week. I want you to tune in on Thursday. I love you. I care about you. If there's a way we can be praying for you, please, please, please let us know. Have a great Sunday, and I'll see you guys on Thursday night.